Welcome to Alternative Energy Design Project. In this project, we'll be discussing renewable energy sources that will be used in our rural area hospitals that will also maybe be a backup as will be used as backup power or even as off-grid power that will be serving our rural areas. We'll be discussing the types of the renewable energy sources, and we'll also be looking into one that will be specifically suitable for rural areas in South Africa, since other renewable sources might not be as sufficient in our country, or maybe might be more expensive as our country is not as developed as other countries. So that renewable energy resources that we'll be selecting will also be guiding us as a country that is it economically advised? Is it something that has been tried as well in our country, or is it something that is also or is it something that is still being implemented in the country? We will also be looking at the challenges and how we can maybe pass those challenges and maintain those challenges and not just derail ourselves by coming up with a renewable source that will later on fail. So I'll move on to the next slide. Moving to introduction, we'll be looking at the types of renewable energy sources, which are now here as solar energy, wind farms, natural gas, hydroelectric energy, hydrogen energy, bioenergy, geothermal heat, and wave energy. These are the types of energies that are renewable energies that we will use in replacement of our the normal electricity that is supplied from Eskom or from our government. So we'll be using these privately as a replacement of the electricity that we already have. These energy sources are accessible worldwide. Solar energy is expensive, but not as expensive as other alternative renewable energies. South Africa has become a significant source of alternative power supply. Solar energy will therefore be suitable for rural hospitals in South Africa, which is what we will be using as our renewable energy source to maintain our rural area hospitals here in our project. Okay, here we'll be discussing the problems that led us to look into finding other renewable energy sources that we can use to save hospitals in the rural areas. South Africa is facing with unpredictable load shedding due to multiple generation failures of aging coal-fired power plants. This generation failures cannot meet the electric demands of customers. These power interruptions negatively affect healthcare services in rural areas such as hospital facilities. And in rural areas, a lot of people cannot really have access of electricity that we're using now, and some people cannot even afford it as well. So they are forced to now stay with no electricity because the government has not provided an alternative renewable energy that can be used in replacement of energy that is supplied by the government. So in that way, we now have to now look and implement ways to help rural areas. But as a problem we are facing in the country, the rural area people do not have proper hospitals that are operating 24/7 because the electricity cannot reach them, or there are no facilities that are maintained enough to run those hospitals at the moment. The solution for our rural hospitals is to now go in and use one of our renewable energy sources, that is solar energy. Solar energy is derived by capturing radiant energy from the sunlight and converting it into heat, electricity, or hot water. South Africa has a wide range of sunlight. So in many rural areas, the sunlight will reach them in South Africa, and there will be basically a lot of it that can be captured. And on top of that, the sunlight is also a free natural thing that is provided from the universe. So no cost will go out into providing sunlight. The other thing is that solar panels are also the other benefit is that solar panels also have added benefits that can be erected as parking lots. And in rural areas, those parking lots, they can be used as for vendors to sell at the hospitals as shelter for them, but will also be serving as solar panels for the hospitals and creating energy and jobs for vendors to sell at the hospital. We will obviously have challenges when using solar panels or solar energy because as it is obviously expensive, it is not as expensive as the other renewable energies that were mentioned earlier on I think slide 2. So we will be discussing the challenges that we'll be looking into when going forward and using solar energy. What most of the things that will most probably be challenging will be maintaining and installing our components and our system, our solar system. So now I'll be discussing the components that will be used to create solar energy. One of the as I'm starting with the solar panels, the solar panels are the backbone of the solar system. These are types of solar panels such as there are types of solar panels such as polycrystalline and monocrystalline. Monocrystalline is more effective and costs more compared to polycrystalline solar panels. The output is the key when selecting the proper panels. The charging control. The charging control is a device used to regulate the voltage and current from the solar panel connected to the battery. The main purpose of a charge control is to prevent the overcharging of the batteries. So we'll also be using a charging controller. Because we have charging controllers that will be used to prevent the overcharging of the batteries, we will also be having batteries. Batteries are used for backup charge storage. They are used for storage and backup operation at overnight when direct power from solar panels is not available. As in, because we have solar panels that are operating with light, at night we'll have to use the batteries as our backup. That's what the batteries are basically for. And then we're moving forward to inverters. Inverter is a device which converts the DC power supply to the AC power supply. These are the components that will be used to stabilize the solar system, and they are used as well to create the solar system and create electricity. With these components, we'll be allowed to have normal electricity that will be supplied for the hospital for 24 hours if our batteries and inverters are correctly maintained. So that is also a challenge because we'll then need people that will have to come in and maintain the inverters and check on the batteries, because we can't just install our expensive solar system but no one coming to maintain and checking if everything is working correctly. We are dealing with a hospital here. We can't now say we've installed them and then we're waiting for something to go wrong. In hospitals, we are looking at other people's lives. We are looking at the workers' lives. We are looking at the safety of the workers at the hospital. We are also looking at the health of the community. Why is it so? Here we have our hospital design layout. On the top half of the hospital design, we have our warehouse. Our warehouse is designed on the top part of the design, looking at it from my side. And then towards your far right, that's where we have the critical care. No, we have the doctor's rooms. On the far right, we have the doctor's rooms that are divided in two. And then moving down, we'll have the kitchen in the far right corner. That is situated in the far right corner. That's where the hospital kitchen is situated. In the middle, in the bottom half of our hospital, that's where we have our critical care wards, we have our general care wards, and to your left, on the almost left corner, that's where we have the male, and at the bottom we have the female bathrooms. And then onto our far left, on our bottom half of our design, that's where we have the lobby, where people will be coming in towards the reception. On this slide, we just have the single line electrical diagram that is showing us the layout electrically of the hospital. Of maybe if an electrician is coming in and they want to see how electrically the hospital is designed, then they can use this as a guidance to look at our electrical work of the hospital. And this can also be used when installing the solar system to guide us which areas need low voltage and which areas need voltage drop. On this slide, we have costs for entire electric installation. These are the costs that will be used into installing the electrical system into the hospital, and then adding the solar panel system as well, because at the top you can see we have a 650-watt solar panel that is also going to be included in our installation and was also on our quotation. This is basically the quotation that will be used in sourcing all these items. We have electrical and we have specific equipments that will also be used. With electrical, when electricity is already installed into the hospital, it is easier when you are coming in with the solar system. You're just going to then install the solar system um, on, aligning with the electricity that is already in the building. As a closure to our report, we have seen that solar panel is more efficient and sustainable source of power, not only to rural hospitals, but to any facility in need of constant operation. Solar panel is an expensive source of renewable energy. Not all can afford, especially under development or developing countries. But it is being done in South Africa, and it can be done at our rural hospitals. Looking at my research from the previous slide. Thank you for listening and learning about what I have researched on when focusing on renewable energy that can be used at our rural area hospitals.